Am I the asshole for telling my fiance I won't attend his brother's wedding not even 3 months before ours? My 22 female fiance, 27 male proposed back in August. Not even 2 months later, his younger brother, 22 male, decided to propose to his girlfriend, 22 female. My fiance and his brother aren't that close and don't really talk, so it wasn't really communicated to each other that they were both planning to propose. We're older than my future brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and I wanted to get a head start in planning. We made the assumption that because my future sister-in-law is still in school and my future brother-in-law had just graduated college and getting his career started, that they would have their wedding later down the road. My fiance and I put our deposit down for our wedding venue. We get a call from his brother the day after we booked our venue, and his brother was telling my fiance that he is planning to book a tropical destination wedding less than 3 months before our wedding date. Didn't put a deposit or anything, just wanted to let us know what their wedding planning was going to be like. My fiance kindly told his brother to reconsider because it's not even 3 months before our wedding and we already put down the deposit. This is where my future brother-in-law said they don't want to change their date because they've been dating longer than us. Petty bullshit. His brother asked if we would move our wedding date for them, and my fiance said no because we already put the deposit down. Honestly, why would we accommodate to them if they aren't going to accommodate to us? I gave him an ultimatum and said if they go through with setting their wedding less than 3 months before ours, then I will not be going. My fiance said that's pretty fucked up that I wouldn't go to their wedding, especially since I'm marrying into the family and it would be right before ours, but personally, with planning my own wedding, I feel that I am not financially stable to go to a destination wedding less than 3 months before my own. Liar, 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 liar. You're just butthurt because you want to have your own spotlight for your wedding, which I get.
My sister and I were driving down this dusty country road. Imagine just trees and darkness. That was it. And I stopped the car because I saw the stop sign in the bushes. And I was like, look, a stop sign. And my sister was unimpressed. She said, so? And I said, so? How do you think it got there? And she said, oh, well, they keep putting up the stop sign on the paved road. And old man Jenkins doesn't like it because he lives on the paved road. And he doesn't think people on the paved road should have to yield to the people who live on this dirt road. So every time the city puts up a new stop sign, he comes out with his chainsaw and he chops it down. They can't prove it was him, but we all know. All I was taking from this story was, Kate, that is a free extra stop sign that you can have, and also Old Man Jenkins would probably be an unironic supporter of real life Squid Games. And I was gonna hop out and get it, but then because I'm me, I turn to my sister and I say, wait, what if it's a trap? And she said, what? And I said, like, what if there's a bad guy waiting in the bushes to snatch me up when I come out to get the stop sign? And she said, yeah, now that you mention it, I have heard that there's a serial killer on the loose luring people into the bushes with dirty stop signs. And I was like, well, it would obviously work for me. But I got out, I got the stop sign, I handed it to her because I'm driving. And my little sister hates my driving. She's made that offensively clear. She hates it so much that as we're continuing to drive on this road, a truck's coming over the hill and I can see its headlights. So I turn my brights off and she didn't realize that I turned my brights off. And she turned to me and unsarcastically, without just a hint of irony in her voice, as if she was my mother, said, okay, now there's a truck coming, so make sure that your brights are off and you're driving on the right side of the road. Now, if you are a younger sibling and you are looking for a quick and efficient way to piss off an older sibling, that's a really good line, because I popped off. I was like, how stupid do you think I am? I walk exclusively on the right side of the grocery aisle and I give dirty looks to anyone who doesn't do the same. You think I don't know what side of the road to drive my car on? And it became the fight to end all fights. Like, it started with the driving thing, and then every repressed issue that we had as sisters was coming to the surface. We pulled into our family driveway and kept fighting for like an hour. She's holding this stop sign like this the entire time, and it all boiled down to her being like, sometimes I feel like you don't even like me. I said, I like you. Sometimes I feel like you don't like me. And she said, no, I like you. And there is snail slime all over the back of the stop sign, and now it's on my clothes. And then we got out of the car and washed the stop sign together, but now I don't know what to do with it because honestly, it's a piece of trash.
As a child, whenever I was invited to people's houses, my mom told me it was etiquette to eat the food that they made. She would always tell me to put a considerable amount and eat all of it since it would be rude not to. First, she said I would be wasting food, and second, it would seem as if I didn't enjoy the food, which is mean since a lot of effort was put into making it. I've always followed this rule and thought it was true. If I cooked a buttload of food and no one ate it, I'd be heartbroken. My boyfriend of 7 months invited me to his family's Christmas dinner. I've met his parents very briefly, but nothing too formal. Anyway, we get to the food and I was pretty hungry and everything looked really amazing. I made sure to fill my plate, but not overfill, just equal amounts of everything on the table. I ate it all, and to be honest, was pretty stuffed. His mother then asked me if I wanted seconds. There was still a lot of food on the table. I took her up on the offer and put a bit more of the pasta salad. My boyfriend gave me a strange look, but I thought nothing of it at the time. Dessert comes and I chose to eat a slice of cheesecake. We then had coffee, all sitting around the fire and telling funny stories. Everyone seemed like in a very good mood and everything was great. After everything, I was honestly so happy because I was worried about dinner and meeting his parents, but I thought that everything went well. We left his parents' house in separate cars as I came directly from my parents' house to him. We reached my apartment and I can tell he's totally pissed off. I asked him what was wrong and he just blew up in my face that I had no manners, telling me he had never seen me eat as much as I did at his parents' house and it was so embarrassing. After further prying, he said that in his culture, when you eat a lot at a person's house, it's disrespectful because you should never go to a house on an empty stomach. He said that it makes a person look desperate and fat. He said on the car ride home, his mom was talking about how embarrassing and unmannered I was to eat so much. I told him that she told me to put seconds and he said that's son to be a good hostess, but a guest should never take up on that offer. He said it would have been fine if I had declined dessert, but since I didn't, I looked even more fat. I explained my reasoning to him and he called that bullshit. I honestly feel terrible, but I told him that if he explained to me beforehand, I wouldn't have eaten so much. He said that he thought it was common knowledge. It's been 2 days and neither of us will really talk until the other apologizes. I know it's petty not to apologize, but I sincerely don't think I did anything wrong. Am I the asshole for eating at my boyfriend's family's Christmas dinner?
Am I the asshole for calling the police on my fiance? My fiance and I have been together for 3 years. I used to live close to work and use public transportation, but after I moved to his house, which is hours away from work, I bought myself a car. I'm a nurse and there were no hospitals close where I could transfer to. My fiance's car hasn't been working for 2 months now and it requires so much money to get it fixed and he refuses my financial help when I offer it. He uses my car, instead he occasionally uses my car. On New Year's he asked me if he could use the car to go hang out with his friends and celebrate, but I said no because I had to work. He insisted and suggested I swap shifts with another nurse, but I couldn't do it. When I got out of the shower, I couldn't find him or the car. Am I the asshole for calling the police on my fiance? I freaked out and started calling for half an hour, but he didn't answer me and I tried again till one of his friends picked up. I demanded he give the phone to my fiance, but he said they were out and confirmed he took my car and told me that my fiance said that it's better I skip my shift. I couldn't take it and felt so enraged. I told my fiance I didn't consent for him to take my car and that I'd call the police to get it back if he refused to come back with it. He didn't take me serious, so I called the police. Him and his friends were taken to the police department. I got my car from there and still went to my shift. My fiance said I was out of my mind to call the police on him and put him in this situation. But I told him he made me do this. Am I the asshole for telling my husband that I'll stop paying for everything, including therapy, if he doesn't start looking for a job? My husband and I have been together for a total of 4 years. He's dealt with depression and anxiety since 2019. He completely shut down, quit his job, sold his car, emptied his savings, and stopped seeing friends and family and started spending his day doing nothing. Not a thing. None. It took months before realizing that he was dealing with a mental health issue and I arranged for him to see a therapist. He was against it but then agreed to give it a try. His quality of life improved and he got a major makeover, including a new car. I was happy that he got his life back, except that he doesn't work, not only that but use my money to get his transformation. Am I the asshole for telling my husband I'll stop paying for everything if he doesn't start looking for a job? When I tried to talk to him about finding a job since now he's doing well, he put off the idea and says he needs more therapy to be ready to start committing to a job and working. This went on for months and he jumped from therapist to therapist and still said he's not ready for a job yet. But he's always going out to eat with his friends and buying new gadgets. We had a huge argument after I found out he bought a $200 wristwatch for himself using my credit card. I shouted that it was time to get a job, and that if he didn't, I would stop paying for everything, including therapy. He said that would send him back, but I said he was a hypocrite for saying he's not ready but living completely normal. Am I the asshole for insisting my boyfriend eat respectfully at a nice restaurant? So my boyfriend and I have been together for 7 months. We usually eat takeout if we want to get something to eat. However, I was recently promoted, so we went to eat at a very nice Italian restaurant to celebrate. Like one with an enforced dress code. My boyfriend is not the nicest of eaters, which can be kind of gross, but I deal with it. However, I didn't realize he had no table manners. When our appetizer was served, he looked at me jokingly and asked if I'd be upset if he enjoyed his meal the same way he would at home. I said that we were at a nice restaurant and there were other customers around. He didn't say anything but instead started digging into the bruschetta with his hands. Am I the asshole for insisting my boyfriend eat respectfully at a nice restaurant? He got sauce all over his fingers, but I let this go. However, when the pasta came out, he smirked at me and ate like he hadn't eaten in a week. He then dropped his fork and started picking up pieces of chicken and noodles with his fingers, getting sauce everywhere. The tablecloth, his hands, his clothes, and face. He also burped after destroying a side of the table. The table next to us was astonished, and my waiter even asked him if he was okay. Customers were staring, and he put his feet up on the chair next to us, blocking the aisle. I asked for the check, which I paid, and told him that I was embarrassed, but he said it's my fault for not letting him enjoy the meal.